In a small and lively town, a little girl named Mina lived with her family in a tiny old house near the edge of the market. Mina's family was very poor, and her parents worked hard to earn enough money for food and rent. Every day, Mina carried a small worn basket to the market to sell a few vegetables they grew in their tiny garden. She walked barefoot sometimes, because her shoes had holes and it was hard to find new ones. The market was always crowded and noisy. People shouted to sell their goods, and children ran between the stalls playing or helping their families. Mina moved carefully through the crowd, holding her basket close to her chest so that no one would knock it down. Even though she was small and quiet, she had a brave heart and a careful mind. She knew where each stall was, and she remembered which vendors were kind and which were strict. One stall in particular caught her attention every day. Mr. Raffi, a friendly food vendor, sold fresh bread, biscuits, and small snacks. Mina loved the smell of his stall, but she knew she could not buy anything. Her family did not have money to spend on bread from the market. However, sometimes when the crowd left and Mr. Raffi had leftover food, he would give her a small piece. It was never much, maybe a small bread roll or a few sweet biscuits, but it made her happy and kept her from feeling hungry. Mina would stand quietly near Mr. Raffi's stall. She never asked for anything loudly. She never begged. She simply waited patiently, hoping to receive a small gift of food. Other children laughed at her sometimes because she wore old clothes, but Mina did not mind. She kept a kind smile on her face and thanked Mr. Raffi softly when he handed her food. Her voice was soft but full of gratitude, and people noticed the sweetness in her manners. Every morning, Mina woke up early to help her mother water the tiny garden. She learned to pick vegetables carefully so they would not be damaged. Her little brother, Sami, played nearby while their mother prepared simple breakfast. Mina often went without food, giving her portion to Sami because he was younger. She believed in sharing even when there was little to give. One day the market was more crowded than usual. The sun shone brightly, and the warm light made the colorful stalls look beautiful. Mina carried her basket and walked slowly between the sellers and buyers. She watched people haggling over prices, children laughing, and the smell of fresh bread filling the air. She hoped that today, maybe, she would get something from Mr. Raffi. Mr. Raffi noticed Mina and waved to her. He smiled and placed a small bread roll on a piece of paper for her. Mina's eyes lit up with joy. She ran a few steps toward him and took the bread carefully. She thanked him with her soft voice, and her heart felt warm. Even though it was only a small roll, it meant so much to her. As she stood quietly eating the bread, Mina noticed something unusual. A man in a shiny black coat walked slowly through the market. His shoes were polished, and he carried himself with a calm, confident air. People stepped aside to let him pass, whispering to each other. Mina stopped and watched him curiously. He seemed different from everyone else in the market. He did not shout, he did not push, and he did not appear to be in a hurry. He walked slowly, looking at the stalls with interest. Mina wondered who he was. He looked important, but there was also a calm kindness in his eyes. The man paused near Mr. Raffi's stall. He looked at the bread, then at Mina, who was holding her small roll and smiling shyly. Mina felt nervous for a moment. She had never seen anyone like him in the market. He seemed to notice her immediately and smiled gently. "Hello, little girl," the man said softly, his voice kind and warm. Mina's heart beat fast, but she nodded politely and said hello. She did not know why, but she felt a strange feeling of happiness and safety around him. The man looked at the bread in her hand. "Are you hungry?" he asked gently. Mina shook her head softly. "No, sir," she said. "I just got this from Mr. Raffi." She held up the bread carefully so he could see. The man nodded and smiled. "You are very polite," he said, "and you look like someone who works very hard. What is your name?" "Mina, sir," she replied. Her voice was quiet but clear. "I come to the market every day to sell vegetables. My family is poor, but we try our best." The man nodded and looked around at the busy market. "I can see that. You are a very strong little girl. Many people would not have the patience to wait quietly like you do." Mina felt shy but proud. Nobody had ever said that to her before. Most people in the market ignored her or treated her like she was invisible. Mr. Raffi, noticing the interaction, came closer. "Sir, this little girl always comes to my stall. She never asks for much, and I try to help her when I can. She is very honest and polite," he said. Mina looked at Mr. Raffi and smiled. She felt grateful to him because he always treated her with kindness. The man looked at Mina again. "It is rare to see a child with such manners and courage. You are doing very well. Keep helping your family and never lose your kind heart." Mina felt warmth spread in her chest. She had never heard such words from someone so important and kind. She nodded shyly. The market was busy, but Mina felt a little world of calm around her. The man stayed for a few minutes, talking to Mr. Raffi and observing the market. Mina watched him quietly, eating her bread slowly. She felt that maybe, just maybe, something good was going to happen in her life. After a while, the man looked at Mina again and smiled. "Keep being yourself," he said. Then he turned and walked away, leaving a small gift on the stall for her. Mina looked at it with wide eyes. It was a small bag with fresh bread, some fruits, and a few sweet biscuits. She could not believe it. Mr. Raffi smiled and said, He wanted you to have this. You deserve it, little one. Mina's eyes filled with happiness. She thanked Mr. Raffi, then carefully carried the bag back to her family. On the way home, she thought about the man in the black coat and his kind words. She thought about how someone could notice a small girl in the busy market and treat her with respect. For the first time, she felt a strong hope in her heart. When Mina reached home, she showed her mother and little brother the food. Her mother smiled with tears in her eyes. "Mina, this is a blessing," she said softly. Her brother Sammy looked excited and hugged Mina tightly. For the first time, they had enough food for the whole day. That night, Mina went to sleep thinking about the market, Mr. Raffi and the kind man in the black coat. She dreamed of a day when her family would have enough food every day, a warm home, and a life where she could go to school and learn new things. She held on to that dream tightly, believing that one day her life would change. And so, Mina's small, kind heart waited patiently, carrying hope like a treasure, not knowing that the next visit to the market would bring her life closer to something she had only dreamed about. The next morning, Mina woke up earlier than usual. The sunlight entered through the small cracks in her room, making her tiny bed glow warmly. She thought about the day before, the kind man in the black coat, and the bag of food he had left for her. Her heart felt light and hopeful. For the first time, she imagined that life could be better. She quickly helped her mother water the garden, careful not to step on the tiny plants. Somi played nearby, laughing as he tried to catch the butterfly that had landed on a leaf. Mina's mother noticed her daughter's excitement. "Mina, you seem happy today," she said with a gentle smile. Mina nodded. "Mother, something special happened yesterday. A kind man came to the market. He noticed me and gave me food. He said I am strong and polite." Her mother's eyes softened, and she patted Mina's head. "That is wonderful, my child. You deserve kindness. Always keep your heart kind and your spirit strong." After breakfast, Mina prepared her basket and walked to the market. She was careful to tie her old shoes tightly, making sure she would not trip. The market was just opening, and the vendors were arranging their fresh goods. Mina noticed that people seemed busy and the smell of fresh bread filled the air. She moved carefully, her basket full of small vegetables from her garden. When Mina reached Mr. Raffi's stall, she noticed that the man in the black coat was already there. He stood quietly near the corner, observing the busy market. Mina's heart beat faster. She had never expected to see him again. She stepped closer, a little shy, and greeted him softly. "Good morning, sir." The man smiled warmly at her. "Good morning, Mina. I am glad to see you again. Did you get home safely yesterday?" Mina nodded quickly. "Yes, sir. My family was very happy. We shared the food you gave me." The man's eyes shone with kindness. "That is very good. Always share what you have, even if it is little. Sharing brings happiness." Mr. Raffi noticed the conversation and smiled. "Sir, this little girl works very hard every day. She does not ask for much, but she always waits patiently and is very honest." Mina looked at Mr. Raffi and gave a small, shy smile. She felt proud that someone noticed her efforts. The man in the black coat looked around the market carefully. Then he leaned slightly and said to Mina softly, "Would you like to help me today? I want to see how you manage your work. I think you are very clever and hardworking." Mina's eyes widened with surprise. "Me, sir?" she asked softly. "Yes, Mina. You have a special way of working and helping your family. I want to see it." Mina felt nervous but also very happy. She nodded politely. The man bought a small bag of vegetables from her basket. Then he said, "Let us walk together. I want to see the market through your eyes." Mina felt proud. She carefully carried her basket and followed him through the busy stalls. He asked her about different vegetables, how she grew them, and how she sold them every day. Mina explained everything simply and honestly. The man listened carefully and asked questions that made Mina think. He seemed very interested in her ideas. Other vendors watched curiously. They had never seen someone so important talk to a little girl with such respect. Mina felt her cheeks warm, but she also felt proud and confident. After walking a little, the man stopped near a bakery stall. He bought some fresh bread and handed a small loaf to Mina. "Here for your family," he said with a gentle smile. Mina accepted it with both hands and thanked him softly. She noticed that he watched her reaction carefully. He seemed to enjoy seeing her happy. Then he asked, "Mina, do you go to school?" Mina shook her head. "No, sir. My family is poor. We need the vegetables to sell. We cannot pay for school." The man's face became thoughtful. "I see. Education is very important. Mina, one day I will help you go to school. You have a smart and kind heart, and learning will help you and your family." Mina felt her heart leap with hope. Nobody had ever promised her something so wonderful before. The man in the black coat bought more vegetables from Mina's basket. Then he handed her a small notebook and a pencil. "Use this to write down what you sell, what you earn, and what you learn every day," he said. Mina held the notebook carefully and nodded. She felt a new sense of responsibility. She wanted to do everything properly to show that she deserved the kindness she was receiving throughout the morning. Mina walked with the man. He introduced her to other vendors politely. He encouraged Mina to speak clearly about her vegetables and her work. Mina was shy at first, but soon she felt confident. She realized that people were listening to her. The man whispered, "See, Mina, you are brave and clever. Never think you are too small to do something important. Mina smiled shyly, feeling proud as the market grew busier. The man in the black coat told Mina to take a short rest. He asked Mr. Raffi to give her a small piece of bread and some juice. Mina sat on a small bench, feeling the warmth of the sun and the kindness around her. She thought about her family and how much she wanted to help them. She realized that one kind person could make a big difference in someone's life. After a little while, the man turned to Mina and said, "I want you to show me your home. I want to see where you live and meet your family." Mina felt nervous but also excited. She had never invited anyone important to her home. She carefully carried her basket and walked with him through the narrow streets. People stared as the man in the black coat walked beside a little girl, but Mina did not mind. She felt safe with him. When they reached Mina's house, her mother and little brother came outside. They were surprised and nervous to see the man. Mina explained softly, "He is kind, sir. He wants to see our home." The man smiled and greeted them politely. "Hello, I have heard a lot about you. Your daughter is very hard-working and kind." Mina's mother felt her eyes fill with tears. She invited him inside, and he politely declined, saying he only wanted to meet them briefly. He gave Mina's mother a small bag of food and some fresh fruits. "Please take this for your family. You are doing well, raising Mina and her brother with love. Always keep hope in your hearts." Mina's mother bowed her head, grateful and amazed at the kindness of a stranger. Sami hugged his sister tightly and whispered, "You are lucky, Mina." Mina smiled and felt proud. The man stayed a little longer, talking to Mina about her dreams. She told him she wanted to go to school, learn reading and writing, and help her family grow better vegetables. He listened carefully and nodded. "One day, you will do all this, Mina. You are strong and smart. Keep believing in yourself." Before leaving, the man in the black coat handed Mina a small bag of coins. "This is for your family. Use it wisely for food and school. Remember, Mina, your heart and your courage are your greatest treasures." Mina held the bag carefully and promised herself she would do her best to make him proud. As he walked away, Mina watched him go, feeling a mix of happiness and hope. She realized that life could change quickly when someone noticed your courage and kindness. She thanked Mr. Raffi and ran home to share the good news with her family. Her mother hugged her tightly, and Sami jumped with joy. Mina felt proud and full of energy. She wanted to work harder, learn more, and make her dreams come true. That evening, Mina sat quietly in her small room looking at the notebook and pencil the kind man had given her. She wrote carefully about the day, her experiences, and the small acts of kindness she had received. She thought about the market, the vendors, and the smiling faces of her family. For the first time, Mina felt a strong hope in her heart. She knew that her life was starting to change, and she was ready to face every day with courage, patience, and a kind heart. The morning sun shone brightly over the small town, filling the streets with golden light. Mina woke up with a sense of excitement in her heart. Yesterday's visit from the kind man in the black coat still felt like a dream. She carefully washed her face and helped her mother water the tiny garden. Sami played near the flowers, laughing as he chased a small butterfly that fluttered around. Mina felt happy to see him smiling, and she promised herself she would work hard to bring more joy to her family. After a quick breakfast of simple rice and a few vegetables, Mina prepared her basket. Today, she felt a new confidence. The notebook the kind man had given her rested in her pocket. She had written carefully about what had happened yesterday, describing the market, Mr. Raffi, the man in the black coat, and the way her family had received the gifts. Mina wanted to remember every detail, because she felt it was the start of something important in her life when she reached the market. Mina noticed that it was busier than usual. The vendors shouted their prices, children ran between the stalls, and the smell of fresh bread and fried snacks filled the air. Mina carefully made her way to Mr. Raffi's stall. She smiled at him politely. "Good morning, Mr. Raffi," she said softly. Mr. Raffi looked at her and smiled. "Good morning, Mina. You seem very happy today." Mina nodded. "I am, sir. Yesterday was very special. A kind man came and spoke to me and my family." Mr. Raffi's eyes shone with pride. "Yes, I saw. He is a very wise man. You must continue being brave and kind, Mina. He will guide you in the right way." As Mina arranged her vegetables, she noticed the man in the black coat approaching the stall. His presence caused a small crowd to form, but he walked calmly, ignoring the whispers of the people. He looked at Mina with a warm smile. "Good morning, Mina. I hope you are ready for today. I have a small task for you." Mina's heart beat faster. "Yes, sir," she replied softly. She followed him as he walked toward a quiet corner of the market. He handed her a small bag of coins. "Use this to buy fresh vegetables and some bread for your family," he said. "Also, I want you to observe the market carefully. Notice what people buy, how they behave, and what they enjoy the most. This will help you understand more about selling and helping your family." Mina took the bag carefully and nodded. She walked slowly through the market, watching the people and noting everything in her small notebook. She saw which vegetables were most popular, which snacks children loved, and how vendors arranged their stalls to attract customers. She wrote everything down, her small hand moving quickly but carefully. After a while, the man in the black coat came to check on her. "You are doing very well, Mina. Notice how people treat each other. This is important for your life. Kindness and honesty are as important as hard work. Mina nodded, feeling proud. She realized that she was learning something new every day. Later in the morning, the man suggested they visit another part of the town. I want to show you something, he said. Mina followed him carefully through the narrow streets. They reached a small building that looked different from the market stalls. It was clean, bright, and had books on the walls. Mina's eyes widened. What is this place, sir? She asked softly. This is a school, the man explained. Children come here to learn reading, writing, and many other things. One day, you will come here to Mina. Mina felt a rush of happiness. She had always wanted to go to school, but her family could not afford it. She looked at the books, imagining herself reading and learning new things. The man smiled at her excitement. Education is very important. It will help you understand the world and help your family in the future. You are strong, Mina, and you can learn anything if you try your best. Mina nodded eagerly. I promise, sir, I will try very hard. After visiting the school, they returned to the market. Mina carried her basket carefully and sold her vegetables while the man watched. People noticed the difference in her confidence. She spoke clearly, smiled politely, and arranged her vegetables neatly. Many customers preferred buying from her today. Mina felt proud and happy, knowing that the kindness of the man in the black coat was teaching her to be more confident and organized at the end of the day. The man handed Mina a small notebook with coins and bread inside. These are for your family. Use them wisely. Remember, Mina, your courage and honesty will take you far. Never forget that. Mina thanked him quietly and ran home to show her mother and little brother. Her mother was amazed at the fresh vegetables, bread, and coins. Mina, you have done very well. I am proud of you, she said, her eyes shining with tears. Somi hugged her tightly, laughing with happiness. Mina smiled, feeling that her small efforts were finally being recognized and rewarded. That evening, Mina sat in her small room, looking at her notebook and the coins the kind man had given her. She wrote down everything that had happened today, noting the lessons she had learned about honesty, kindness, and hard work. She imagined herself going to school one day, learning many things, and helping her family live a better life. Over the next few days, Mina's life began to change slowly. The man in the black coat visited the market regularly. Each time he encouraged Mina, taught her small lessons about business, organization, and helping others. He introduced her to other kind vendors who offered her small gifts of food and coins, and some even invited her to help them with their work. Mina learned to manage small money, save for her family, and write clearly in her notebook about every activity. One afternoon, the man said to her, Mina, you are learning very fast. Soon, you will be ready for school. I want you to think about your dreams. What do you want to become when you grow up? Mina paused and thought carefully. Sir, I want to go to school and learn everything I can. I want to help my family, grow better vegetables, and maybe one day help other children who are poor like me. The man nodded with pride. That is a wonderful dream, Mina. Keep your heart kind and your spirit strong. I will help you step by step. You are brave, and I believe you can achieve everything you wish for. Mina felt a new wave of determination. She realized that her life was slowly changing because someone believed in her. She promised herself to work harder, learn more, and never give up. Meanwhile, the market continued to be busy. Mina noticed that some children like her looked sad and hungry. She remembered the small joy she felt when she received bread and fruits. She quietly shared a few biscuits and a small piece of bread with them, smiling warmly. The man in the black coat noticed her kindness and whispered, See, Mina, you are not only learning for yourself, but also helping others. That is the true sign of a strong heart. By the end of the week, Mina's small notebook was filled with notes about her daily activities, what she sold, what she earned, and the lessons she learned from the kind man. She felt proud of herself. For the first time in her life, she felt that her small efforts could make a big difference. That night, Mina lay in bed with Sami sleeping beside her. She thought about her dreams, the kind man, Mr. Rafi, and all the people who had helped her in the market. She felt a sense of hope stronger than anything she had ever felt. She whispered softly to herself, One day, everything will be better. I will learn, grow, and help my family. Mina closed her eyes, feeling the warmth of her family and the hope in her heart. She knew that life was beginning to change, and that her courage, honesty, and kindness would guide her through every challenge. She drifted into sleep with a smile, ready to face another day full of learning, growth, and small miracles. The sun rose over the small town, painting the market in warm shades of gold and orange. Mina woke up early, feeling both excitement and a little nervousness. Today felt different. She had been learning many things from the kind man in the black coat, and she wanted to put her lessons into action. She helped her mother water the tiny garden, carefully checking each plant for signs of growth. Sami laughed and played near the flowers, chasing a tiny butterfly that hovered above the leaves. After a simple breakfast, Mina packed her vegetables in a small basket. Her notebook rested beside it, filled with notes and lessons she had learned from the market, Mr. Rafi, and the kind man. Today, she promised herself she would try even harder. She wanted to help her family more and make them proud. As Mina entered the market, she noticed that it was unusually crowded. Vendors shouted their prices loudly, children ran between stalls, and the smell of fresh bread and cooked snacks filled the air. Mina carefully made her way to Mr. Rafi's stall. She greeted him politely, holding her basket tightly. "Good morning, Mr. Rafi," she said softly. Mr. Rafi smiled at her. "Good morning, Mina. You seem determined today. I hope everything goes well for you." Mina nodded. She had a feeling that today would be a challenge, but she was ready to face it. The man in the black coat appeared soon after, walking calmly through the busy market. He looked at Mina with a warm smile. "Good morning, Mina. Today, I want to give you a special task. There is a customer who wants fresh vegetables, and they expect them to be perfect. You must select the best ones, arrange them neatly, and present them with confidence." Mina's heart beat faster. She had never been asked to do something so important, but she nodded politely. "I will try my best, sir." The man handed her a small bag of coins to buy a few extra vegetables if needed. Mina carefully chose the freshest carrots, tomatoes, and spinach from her basket in the market stalls. She arranged them neatly in a small wooden crate, making sure each vegetable looked clean and attractive. She checked her notebook for reminders about how to present goods and speak politely. Soon, a woman approached the stall. She was dressed neatly and looked very important. Mina's heart raced, but she remembered the kind man's lessons. She smiled politely and said, "Good morning, ma'am. These vegetables are fresh and carefully chosen. I hope you like them." The woman examined the vegetables carefully, nodding slowly. "I want the best for my family. I hope these are good," she said. Mina felt nervous but stayed calm. She showed the vegetables one by one, explaining where each had come from and how fresh they were. The woman looked impressed. The kind man in the black coat watched quietly, his eyes warm and encouraging. Mina felt a small wave of confidence. She realized that her careful attention, honesty, and politeness were making a difference. The woman smiled and said, "You have done very well. I will take these vegetables." "Thank you, little girl." Mina carefully packed the vegetables and received the coins. Feeling proud of herself after the woman left, the market seemed even busier. Mina noticed other children and vendors looking at her with curiosity. She realized that she was being noticed for her confidence and kindness. She felt proud, but she also felt a responsibility to continue being honest and hardworking. Later, a sudden problem arose. A strong wind blew through the market, knocking over some of the stalls. Mina's small basket tipped slightly, and a few vegetables fell to the ground. She froze, worried that she would lose the trust of the customers. The kind man in the black coat stepped closer. "Stay calm, Mina. Mistakes happen. Pick the vegetables carefully, arrange them again, and continue with honesty," he said softly. Mina took a deep breath and followed his advice. She picked up the vegetables, checking each one for damage. She rearranged them neatly in the crate and smiled politely at the next customer. The customer noticed her careful work and thanked her warmly. Mina felt a sense of pride. She realized that challenges were opportunities to show courage and patience. The rest of the day was filled with busy activity. Mina sold more vegetables than ever before. She spoke politely, arranged her products carefully, and used the lessons she had learned in her notebook. The kind man occasionally offered advice, encouraging her and praising her honesty. Mina felt confident that she was learning not just to sell, but to face life with courage and kindness. At the end of the day, the man in the black coat spoke to Mina privately. "You did very well today. You faced a challenge and handled it with patience and honesty. These qualities will take you far in life. Always remember, Mina, courage and kindness are more valuable than money." Mina nodded, her heart swelling with pride. She felt that she had grown stronger and more confident than ever before. When Mina returned home, her mother and Sami were waiting. She carefully placed the coins and remaining vegetables on the table. "Look, mother," she said softly, "I sold more today than ever before, and I stayed calm even when the wind knocked over some vegetables." Her mother smiled with pride and hugged her tightly. "Mina, you are growing into a strong and wise girl. I am proud of you," she said. Sami jumped around happily, holding a small carrot he had saved from the market. That night, Mina sat with her notebook and wrote about the day. She recorded the challenge of the wind, how she handled it, and the lessons she had learned from the kind man in the black coat. She also wrote about the joy of helping customers honestly and the happiness of making her family proud. Mina realized that even small challenges could teach great lessons if faced with courage and kindness. Over the next few days, Mina continued to face small challenges in the market. Sometimes customers asked difficult questions. Sometimes her vegetables were damaged, and sometimes she felt tired from carrying her basket all day. But every time, she remembered the kind man's advice. She stayed patient, worked carefully, and always spoke politely. With each challenge, she grew stronger, smarter, and more confident. The man in the black coat continued to guide her. He taught her how to arrange vegetables to attract buyers, how to manage small coins wisely, and how to speak clearly and politely. Mina absorbed every lesson, writing everything in her notebook. She began to dream bigger dreams. She imagined going to school, learning reading and writing, and one day helping other children who were poor like her. One afternoon, while arranging her vegetables, Mina noticed a group of children watching her. They looked curious and hungry. Mina remembered how happy she had felt when she received bread and fruits from the man in the black coat. She quietly gave them a few pieces of bread and some small carrots, smiling warmly. The children thanked her and ran off happily. Mina felt her heart swell. She realized that helping others brought happiness not just to them, but to herself as well. As the market closed, Mina packed her basket and walked home carefully. Her mother and Sami greeted her with smiles. Mina showed them the coins she had earned and the small bag of bread the man had left for them. Her mother hugged her tightly, and Sami jumped with joy. Mina felt proud of herself and grateful for the kindness and guidance she had received. That night, as Mina lay in her small bed, she thought about the challenges she had faced and the lessons she had learned. She realized that courage, honesty, and kindness were more important than anything else. She promised herself to continue working hard, learning every day, and helping her family and others in need. Mina closed her eyes with a smile, feeling hopeful and ready for the next day full of new lessons, opportunities, and small miracles. The morning sun rose gently over the small town, filling the streets with golden light. Mina woke up feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Today felt special. She had been learning from the kind man in the black coat for many days, and she felt ready for something important. She helped her mother water the garden, careful to touch each plant gently. Sami laughed and played near the flowers, chasing a small butterfly that hovered over the leaves. Mina smiled. Her heart felt strong and full of hope. After a simple breakfast, Mina carefully packed her basket with fresh vegetables. She placed her notebook in her pocket and tied her shoes tightly. Today, she wanted to show that she had learned everything the kind man had taught her. She walked through the busy streets, holding her basket with care. The market was already crowded with vendors and customers. Mina moved slowly, observing the stalls, listening to the vendors, and noticing which vegetables were popular. When she reached Mr. Rafi's stall, she greeted him politely. "Good morning, Mr. Rafi," she said softly. Mr. Rafi smiled. "Good morning, Mina. You look confident today. I hope everything goes well for you." Mina nodded. She had a small feeling that something big was going to happen today, but she did not know what it would be. Soon, the man in the black coat appeared. He looked at Mina with a warm smile. "Good morning, Mina. Today is an important day. I want you to show everyone how honest, hardworking, and kind you are. I have a special visitor who wants to meet you and see your work in the market." Mina's heart beat faster. She felt nervous but also very excited. The man guided Mina to a small section of the market where the visitor was waiting. It was a woman who looked important, dressed neatly and carrying a small bag. Mina took a deep breath, remembering everything she had learned. She arranged her vegetables carefully in a crate, making sure they looked fresh and clean. She picked the best carrots, tomatoes, spinach, and small herbs. She checked her notebook for reminders about polite speech and clear presentation. The woman approached and smiled. "Hello, little girl. I have heard about you. People say you are honest, hardworking, and kind. I want to see for myself." Mina felt nervous but stood tall. She smiled politely and said, "Good morning, ma'am. These vegetables are fresh and carefully chosen. I hope you like them." The woman examined the vegetables carefully. Mina explained each one, where it had come from, and how fresh it was. She spoke clearly and politely, her small hands arranging the vegetables neatly. The woman looked impressed. "You are very brave and confident for your age. I can see that you work hard and care about your family," she said warmly. The man in the black coat watched quietly, his eyes full of encouragement. Mina felt a wave of confidence. She realized that all her practice, patience, and hard work had prepared her for this moment. The woman smiled and said, "I want to give you a gift. I can help you go to school and continue learning. I will also help your family with food and other needs." Mina's eyes widened in surprise. Her heart beat fast. She could not believe what she was hearing. She looked at the man in the black coat, who nodded gently. "Mina, you have worked hard, been honest, and stayed kind. You deserve this opportunity. It is your courage and patience that brought you here." Mina felt tears in her eyes, but she smiled politely. "Thank you, sir." "Thank you, ma'am. I will work hard and never forget your kindness." The woman handed Mina a small bag with coins and a letter. "This is for your family and for your school. You can study, learn reading and writing, and grow up to help many people. Remember, honesty and kindness are your greatest strengths." Mina took the bag carefully and promised herself she would use it wisely. She felt a warmth in her heart that she had never felt before. After the visitor left, Mina walked to Mr. Rafi's stall. "Mr. Rafi, I will be able to go to school now and help my family better," she said softly. Mr. Rafi smiled with pride. "I knew you were special, Mina. You have grown so much. This is only the beginning of a bright future for you." Mina felt proud and happy. She realized that her patience, hard work, and kindness had truly changed her life. Mina returned home with her basket in the bag. She carefully showed her mother and little brother. Her mother's eyes filled with tears of joy. "Mina, my child, this is wonderful news. I am so proud of you," she said softly. Sami jumped around happily, hugging his sister tightly. Mina smiled, feeling her heart full of love and hope. That afternoon, the kind man in the black coat returned to their house. He spoke gently to Mina's mother. "Your daughter is very special. She has courage, honesty, and a kind heart. With the right guidance, she will do great things. I will continue helping her step by step." Mina's mother thanked him warmly. She realized that this kind man had not only helped her daughter but had also brought hope and happiness to their family. Over the next few days, Mina prepared for school. She learned basic reading and writing with the help of the man in the black coat. She practiced every day, filling her small notebook with letters, words, and small stories. She also continued helping her family with vegetables and small tasks. Each day she felt more confident, more capable, and more determined to make a difference. The market noticed the change in Mina as well. Vendors smiled at her politely, and some even offered to teach her small skills about selling and arranging goods. Mina learned quickly, applying lessons from her notebook and the guidance of the kind man. She realized that learning was not just for school but for life itself. One morning, Mina's mother spoke to her gently. "Mina, you have worked so hard. You are learning new things, helping our family, and showing kindness to others. You are very brave and strong." Mina smiled shyly. "Mother, I want to continue learning and helping. I want to make our lives better and help other children who are poor like me." Her mother nodded proudly. As weeks passed, Mina continued to grow in confidence, knowledge, and courage. She went to school regularly, learned reading and writing, and applied her lessons in the market. Her family's life began to improve slowly. They had enough food every day, and the small garden grew fresh vegetables that Mina managed carefully. Sami laughed and played happily, and her mother smiled often, seeing hope and progress in her children. The kind man in the black coat continued to visit Mina. He praised her patience, honesty, and courage. "Mina, you have learned well. You have turned every challenge into an opportunity. Always remember, a kind heart and a brave spirit will guide you through life." Mina listened carefully, feeling inspired. She realized that every small effort, every honest action, and every kind gesture mattered. One afternoon, Mina was arranging her vegetables when a group of children approached her. They were curious and hungry like she had been before. Mina shared a few small vegetables and some biscuits, smiling warmly. The children thanked her and ran off happily. Mina realized that she was now in a position to help others, just as she had been helped. She felt proud and happy. As the sun set, Mina sat quietly with her notebook and wrote about her journey. She wrote about the market, the kind man in the black coat, Mr. Rafi, her family, and the new opportunity to go to school. She wrote about every lesson, every challenge, and every moment of courage and kindness. She knew that her life had changed forever. Mina closed her notebook and looked out at the sky. The colors of the sunset reminded her of hope, dreams, and new beginnings. She held her small hands together and whispered softly, "I will keep learning, working hard, and being kind. I will make my family proud and help others whenever I can." Mina felt a warm happiness in her heart. She knew that life had many challenges, but she also knew that courage, honesty, and kindness would guide her through every moment from that day on. Mina continued to grow, learn, and inspire everyone around her. She became known in the town as the little girl with a brave heart and a kind spirit. She went to school, helped her family, and shared her blessings with others. And every time she faced a challenge, she remembered the words of the kind man in the black coat. Courage and kindness are the greatest treasures in life. Mina's life, once full of struggle and worry, that had transformed into a story of hope, hard work, and love. And she knew that the future was bright because she had the courage to face every day with a kind heart.